Hey folks, Deano here again. This time, finally, it finally came. Yeah, this is the TonsenartToys 06A Unbound Wrath Warped Vengeance Future Trunks. And yeah, let me tell you, this guy and both of the other trunks, TonsenartToys trunks that I've reviewed, were an absolute nightmare to get hold of. Like, I hate starting videos off in a rant, but for the love of God, Tonsen, I love your figures, but you have two things you still need to sort. One being the QC, because I do unfortunately have a couple of nitpicks with this guy. He's not perfect. They kind of went the extreme opposite direction to the overly tight figures that he'd done before. And also your ability to ship. Like, apparently this guy shipped in waves, and despite me being probably one of the first to pre-order, I pre-ordered it months and months and months ago, I had to cancel my pre-order 3 separate times because the sellers were just basically having me on. And funnily enough, that's exactly what happened with the other two as well. Well, not so much 05B. The 05B, I basically cancelled my pre-order once and bought one that was already in stock for retail price, but yeah. But it is good to finally get this guy. Despite his flaws, he is probably the best looking Trunks we will ever get. Like, despite the fact that Demoniacal Fit somehow decided they want to compete with Tonsen of all people, despite the fact that they're supposedly coming out with their version of this guy early next year, yeah, I don't think they'll be able to compete with how this looks. It'll be cheaper, don't get me wrong, and I will still buy it for you guys to review, but yeah, in terms of details and stuff, this guy will probably never be beaten. But yeah, without further ado, let's get this guy off the turntable and take a look at the box. So yeah, before I go into the box, I will just say I'll try and have links in the description to be able to buy this guy. He may already be way too expensive for most people. I had to pay over the odds just to get him after being messed about so much. But yeah, the link will be there if you do want to buy him for whatever reason. I'll put a link to 06B as well. I don't think I'll be getting him. But even though it is a really nice figure, like, I already have 3 of Tonsen's trunks. And yeah, between the 2 official Boys from the Future Trunksies I've got, and whatever ones Demoniacal Fit puts out in the future, I'm going to end up with way too many of them. So yeah, I'm putting a stop to this right now. Probably the next Tonsenart trunks you'll see from me will be their Gogeta, probably, if that one ever gets out of the render hell, as it were. But yeah, but in terms of the box, same as their other ones, just in different colours and obviously different picture on there. We have a nice picture of Trunks there sniffing the flower. For those of you who don't know, or 2 of you who haven't watched the millions of other reviews of this guy already, this is based off Trunks from the Bojack movie, Bojack Unbound, which is why his title this time is Unbound Wrath Warped Vengeance. So yeah. Although you can take his jacket off, which is quite nice, and turn him into the Broly movie Trunks, which to me looks just as good. It's just a tank top, but yeah. But you have Trunks there. We have Baby Trunks, which is hilarious that they included that as an accessory. Choking hazard. Pictures reference only. Please refer to physical object. Blah 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 blah. It's also quite funny to me that they're showing this as if his hands are in his pockets, but this version of Trunks doesn't come with the hands and pockets accessory. And neither of those accessories actually fit the colour scheme this guy has for his trousers. So yeah, just a big massive image of the flower there, and Trunks' face going round the side. Strangely enough, we have 2 warning labels back here. It's been printed twice. This one's for normal people, this is for people who can read really small items. So yeah, pretty basic to be fair, but it gets the job done and it's nice and compact. I wish more companies would compact their boxes like this. And he did in fact come in a brown shipper, which is good. I do like that. That means it's protected when I put it in its storage. The box, not the figure. I do not put any of my figures in storage. So yeah. But yeah, let's move on to the accessories. So I think what I'll do is to save like this video getting into the like hour mark or whatever bonkers it is, because my videos are already quite long and detailed. I'll focus on just this guy in this video. If you want a comparison between like what each version comes with, and maybe even a few head swaps, I'll make a part 2 video for this guy, so stay tuned for that. Yeah, for this guy, he obviously comes with the base form here, which is really nice. Obviously, Tonsen had to reuse the faces, which meant his ears were sticking out a little bit. The hair would either be way too wide or like just not look right. So he compromised. The hair is there. I mean, he could have probably hid it a bit better with some like detail work on the front bangs. He could have probably brought it back a little, but I mean, from the front, you really cannot see them, and it looks decent enough anyway. We'll get that off for later. Technically, the jacket is also an accessory that can be removed. He comes with the Super Saiyan hair, which, yeah, metallic. I love it. This is brilliant. This is exactly what I wanted. This is what his Majin Vegeta was painted like. I had actually hoped that the 06B would be painted this same way, but no, that one is more just glossy yellow than metallic. But yeah, this one has some really nice shading in it, and look how the light hits it. Just, yeah, that's amazing. Perfect hairstyle for me for this Trunks. Demoniacal Fit will struggle to make their hair better than this, to be honest. Like, just saying it right now. In terms of heads, we get the stern face that is on him in the package, which is quite nice. I have noticed, like before I even do the comparison in part 2, the eyes for the base form heads have been changed. They are a bit bigger and more circular. Not sure how I feel about that. I don't really like the overly cartoon eyes, personally. You get the base form head, and you get the Super Saiyan version, which is looking off to the left. So yeah, decent enough. The eyebrows on the Super Saiyan heads are all metallic, so quite nice. We get teeth gritted face. This one is looking forward. Super Saiyan is looking off to the right. Not sure why he does that. Also, it's coming up quite blue for the Super Saiyan eyes on camera. They aren't. They are like a nice turquoisey colour, which is quite nice. He did have a bit of trouble with that when the Majin Vegetas, if I recall. It's kind of bluish. But yeah. Yelling face, we have base and Super Saiyan both looking forward. Very nicely done. Do really like that. Why am I getting shading here? Is it... There we go. Take it apart a wee bit. But yeah, you can really see on this face, the yelling face is quite... like the eyes are quite small compared to what they usually are. This is probably a straight upgrade from the previous one. But yeah. And lastly, we have the smiling, looking off to the side face, which, yeah, that one still has the same problem as 05A. where I felt the eyes were just a little bit too big for this one, which is why on my 06, on my Boy from the Future, with the 05A head on it, it's got the 06A smirk instead, which, yeah, that looks really nice. He comes with the sword, which I am happy to report is now the exact same colour as the official. It's the same orange, same blue. The sword is still its own unique sculpt, despite the fact they could have just reused the official one. I am also happy to report there is no flashing on this one at all now. It's also much better painted. My 06 or 05B in particular was really bad. Like, the flashing was all over it, as if he hadn't trimmed it before it gets shipped away. But yeah, really nice. I do like it. And the pommel comes off a lot easier now, so you can put it in his hand. So yeah, this one comes with 2 straps. There's this really like long one for with the jacket, and then you have a slightly shorter version which is for just the tank top. Still works the same way as before. You have a magnet. That magnet just snaps on, and yeah, really easy to put on and take off. Do appreciate that. We have hands, tons of hands. We have a pair of fists, which are on him in the package. Pair of sort of burning attack hands, which for some reason these hands and the splayed open key blast hands, which I am about to show right now. There we go. They are quite small. They are underscaled for some reason. I don't know why Tonsen didn't just use the Boy from the Future sculpt for it. Yeah, it's decent enough. It's just kind of noticeable when you put them on the body. Like, the hands look tiny compared to the forearms. So yeah. We have, again, the most useless pair of hands in this set. These are meant to grip the scabbard or the sheath of the sword, but yeah, he's not put any sort of peg hole or magnet or anything hidden in there, and yeah, it just, what are you supposed to do with that? Like, blue tack it? I don't get why this is a thing, Tonsen. Like, if you put like a peg hole here, or even had it so there was a peg hole in the hand and he could use where the strap goes to go in there, that would have worked just fine. Yeah, not sure why he did that. We have a pair of sword gripping hands, which are nice. They are angled. I actually think the gripping hands and the fists are taken from Boy from the Future Trunks, which confuses me even more as to why he didn't just use the same hands for all of them. But there you go. A pair of key blast hands, which are quite nice. The thumb is folded over. Decent enough. It doesn't go in an angle though, so it's quite difficult to get those into a pose. And the unique hand for this set is him holding the flower, because for some reason, despite staying on present day Earth for like, was it a couple of months or something? Or did the cell games just take place over the space of a couple of weeks? I don't know. But yeah, despite that, he was enthralled by the fact that flowers exist on present Earth. Yeah, not sure either, but yeah, it's quite cool though that the flower is the same colour as he is, the purple and then yellow for bits of him. But yeah, decent enough. And finally, we have the funniest accessory of all time, baby present trunks. This one, I am not really sure why they've got him kind of crying on one side when this is meant to be the happy face, but hey-oh. It is just completely solid. It's all angled pegs. There is no way of manoeuvring it, despite the fact he easily could have made them just all ball joints. I'm not really sure why he did that. But yeah, you can rip his arms and his head off, like so, and bring in his alternate parts, which is him crying. There we go. Get this one in there as well. And yeah, just like that, we have him crying for his mother, of which we do not have a Cell Games or Cell Saga Bulma as of yet. Come on, either Tamashii or someone, get onto that. That's a Bulma I would buy in a heartbeat. Didn't buy the Namek one because she literally done nothing in that saga. So yeah, but yeah, funny little accessory. Tamashii will probably struggle if we ever actually get an accessory like that from Tamashii. But yeah, they would struggle to get that level of detail on it because the faces on the baby Trunks are just perfect. Yeah, let's get Trunks into the centre of the screen and take a look at him. So yeah, in terms of Trunks himself, he is really nice. This is probably the best colour scheme out of the three so far that Tonsen has released. Yeah, the jacket's a nice darkish blue colour. The hair is the perfect colour of lavender. The previous version, 05A, was kinda there, but not quite. This one's a lot closer to the official in terms of colour scheme. And yeah, the belt and boots are probably exactly the same as 05B. I keep meaning to call them 06. But the trousers are pretty much identical to Boy from the Future Trunks. So yeah, this is pretty much the perfect colour scheme. Because, quite frankly, I didn't like either colour scheme in the last one. 05A had better pants, but the boots in that were too bright yellow. And 06, there I said it again, 05B had the better looking belt and boots, but the trousers were an almost navy blue. So yeah, good to have a nice in between. Really nice indeed. Apart from that, there is not a whole lot of paintwork on this guy. It's mostly moulded plastic, which is decent enough. We have obviously the tampos and stuff on the face, and then we have a bit of paint on his belt and paint on the heels and toes of the boots. And yeah, that's pretty much your whack. So yeah, in terms of articulation, underneath this is pretty much the same articulation as the first release Trunks, except they are a lot more loose, which is good and bad. Unfortunately, the hair, because of how, like, the nature of the hair, he can't really do much apart from swivel. We do have, like, it's very tight, the ball joint as well. But yeah, you can't really do much else except swivel. I will put the Super Saiyan hair on there to see if articulation is fixed any. I know there's no face on it, like, bear with me. So yeah, we do get a bit more range with the Super Saiyan hair, but not a whole lot, because obviously the Super Saiyan hair is still quite massive in how it looks. So yeah, arms can go right up there. Hindered a little bit more by the jacket, even though it's a soft material and it mostly gets out the way, it still impedes a little bit, but it's easily removed if you don't want it. We get swivel, the butterfly can work if you get the jacket out the way. There we go, that's actually quite bad. I remember Tonsenart Trunks' butterfly being better than that. Let's quickly check because it's very easily removed. So yeah, you take the jacket off and you do get better range. So you are sacrificing a little bit of articulation for the jacket look. There we go. So bicep swivel, double joint at the elbow, which gets really good range because of this unique sort of joint system that they came up with. And we have a forearm swivel. Does this still come off? Yes, it does. So you can, for whatever reason, use the jacket effect that came with 05A and B. Ball hinge at the wrist. Main difference with the body, or only difference with the body apart from paint apps, is there's no watch on this arm anymore, which is accurate to the movie. It's a small thing, but accuracy. Tonsen did not have to do it, but he did. I do have a bit of trouble with his ab crunch. To actually use it, I need to pop the plastic in on this guy, which when I do, you get insane crunch forward. You get decent amount back, and pivot and swivel at the waist. But yeah, my 05A and B had zero issues there, so I'm not sure what's changed with the abs. Just lucky that this lower section is a softer sort of plastic, so you can pop it out the way. Yeah, I'm getting a bit of resistance over here, so I'm assuming it's to do with that. Not sure what's going on there. And then we get to the problem area yet again. Like, although this time it's not overly tight to the point that it's all stuck, I'm having the same sort of issue I have with 2.0 Vegetas, in that you have to get it past a certain point or it will just spring back into place. This side's especially bad. And it does the same going backwards as well. Like if it's not way back like that, it just springs back into place, which means this trunks, unfortunately, is going to be forever bent forward a little bit. So I'm going to have to see what's happening there. TonsenartToys QC striking again, or should I say Black Hole Toys, because Black Hole Toys are the ones that made the figures. Tonsen just commissioned them to do it. So yeah, he does get perfect spread with that though. Thigh rotation is not stuck this time, thank you. Thank you very much. Double joint at the knee. And there's still a sort of tolerance issue with the knee. I'm not sure why it doesn't just bend all the way. His knees are forever kinda bent forward. I don't know if you can see that. That's like a running thing with all the trunks so far. So yeah, finally, no boot cut, but we do have a cut at the foot. We get decent ankle pivot. He's really sort of hidden the joint at its own detriment. It can go back that much. It's got the same thing as Legendary Super Saiyan Goku though, in that the ball joint itself moves, or the ball hinge. So you move it there, he can push it more forward, and if you put it back the way, you get a bit more going up. And finally, toe articulation. So yeah, all in all, like, for its issues, I absolutely love this guy. Like, this is, as the kids call it these days, the drink. This is the absolute best version of Trunks, in my opinion, where he's absolutely jacked. He's got the hair from his armoured look, but on his regular outfit. And this one in particular, like, I think he learned from the Broly movie, where he powered up to Super Saiyan and his jacket just disintegrated for some reason. Like, that's when you know you get too much power. But yeah, I think he learned after that, and just kept the arms off it. which, yeah, can't argue there. I do have one version of what is it? The cloth goods jacket. I've got the full sleeved one coming. I'm going to do a little video showing like how you basically don't need the Boy from the Future trunks at all if you've got 05A or B. Like, you can just use that cloth thing and you have your perfect trunks. Let me know if you guys want to see the cloth version of like the sort of rip jacket as well. I was considering buying it. If you guys want to see it, it's a win-win for me, so it gives me a reason to do so. But yeah, just as a sort of teaser for the next video, I'll bring in 05A and B just to show. This is 05B, and there is 05A on the other side. And yeah, look forward to part 2, guys, and I'll show all the differences between these three, and also bring in a couple of other figures to show the new heads on them. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think down in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Reminder, there will probably be a link in the description if you want to buy them. I don't know if 05B is still like a decent price. It might be, if someone at least wants a trunks like of these. But yeah, let me know what you think, and until next time, I'll see y'all later.